Welcome back to Sportsnite. Danny Ryan alongside Oliver Moody. We're going to give Connor and Matthew a break right now so we can give you some analysis on the big game, the Super Bowl. Oliver, why don't you kick it off for us?
Yeah, this segment's called the 2-minute drill. We have 2 minutes to get through each topic. First topic, who has the edge on offense in this game?
I think it's pretty clear who has the edge on offense right now. Two potent offenses, but if you're looking for depth and talent, you got to go with the Atlanta Falcons. It all starts with one guy, Julio Jones, 6'3" receiver. Unbelievable speed, size, ability to get open. He's the best receiver in the game right now. I think it's no question for me. And you're looking at, they got the two-headed monster at running back. You got Tevin Coleman and you got Devonta Freeman. They're going to be able to open up space, get Julio his own room out there, get him out on that island. He also has Mohamed Sanu and Taylor Gabriel as well, two other potent receivers. And I haven't even started talking about the quarterback yet. Matt Ryan, MVP candidate, really stepped up Matty Ice this year. We'll see if he can take it all the way. Even though Brady and that offense for New England's been clicking, I think if you want to go off danger and how many weapons they have, you got to go Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. The weapons on Atlanta's side are just simply better as athletes compared to New England. But from a coaching standpoint, I don't think people are giving Kyle Shanahan as much credit as he deserves for this season. This has been a coming out party for the Atlanta Falcons offense. Fifth all time, or even in the question for one of the best offenses all time, is a serious thing. And these guys can put up points in the Super Bowl. It's just a question of if they will.
Just how many they actually will put up. Next question now, get away from the offense. Which defense is more likely to win the turnover battle?
For me, this is probably going to edge towards New England, but looking back on things, New England doesn't have this clear. In each of their last 5 Super Bowls, since they're 7, they've thrown an interception, and Brady's actually thrown multiple in a couple. It's only in his first Super Bowl did Brady go turnoverless. So if you're actually looking at the turnover margin, it might fall to Atlanta's side. They're very similar in terms of give-takeaway percentage this season. Two defenses that take the ball away and two offenses that don't give it up.
I actually think it's more likely that this game has no turnovers at all. These are two offenses that are very conservative with the ball. They're not going to, two quarterbacks that know what they're doing. They're not going to throw it into coverage. LeGarrette Blount and Devonta Freeman, they don't cough the ball up a lot. But I think if you're going with one of these two, I think you got to go with New England winning the turnover battle. I just think that Matt Patricia is definitely going to dial it up on Matt Ryan, try and take advantage of the lightest offensive line in football. Not a lot of turnovers are going to be in this game, but I think if you have to pick one team that's going to win it, it's going to be the New England Patriots.
Moving on to the next question, what do you think Matt Ryan needs to do in order to get his team a victory?
I think he needs to share the love. He needs to spread the ball. I mean, you got to look for Julio, obviously, as much as you can. But besides that, I think the defense is going to cater to Julio. And you know that. You saw the New England defense do it with Antonio Brown last week. He's going to have to spread the ball. He's going to have to address a solid run game. He's also going to have to be looking for his running backs out in the flats once they get out of the backfield. Mohamed Sanu and Taylor Gabriel, especially Gabriel, dangerous with open room, has tremendous speed. So he's going to have to spread the ball as much as he can. You see Austin Hooper as well. He has weapons, and he has a lot he needs to work with. He can't just get too focused on Julio Jones, especially if the Falcons go down at some point. He can't go hero ball. He's got to play their game. The Falcons have won every game that Julio's had under 60 receiving yards. So I think they don't need to rely too much on Julio. They need to spread the ball in order to be successful.
I totally agree with that. Again, Julio is not the reason why they've had the season. A lot of people think Julio's had a come-out year. No, it's been a pretty regular year for Julio. He's putting up great numbers once again. But in order for Matt Ryan to win this game, he just needs to do him. You're scoring 33.8 points per game during the regular season. You're having 415 yards per game during the season and 29.5 passing yards per game. The offense has never been the problem. They just need to do their thing, come out and play like the Atlanta Falcons, and they'll have a serious chance to win this ball game. It's when they start slipping up, having turnovers, falling behind on the scorecard, and that's when they're going to have problems with New England.
Yeah, Atlanta, tons of weapons, but the big question is, how do you expect Belichick and co. to address these Atlanta weapons, all their offensive star power?
No, I think it's what everyone really is thinking about. What will Belichick do to try to distract, to get Atlanta off their kind of momentum where they're comfortable? And that's really coming with their scheme. He has the best schematics in terms of a defense out of any team in the NFL. A lot of teams like to switch in the nickel. They like to go in the dime. They like to go in the 4-3. But He won't do that. What he's going to do is he's going to put the players out there so that you don't know what he's going to run. He's going to put the players out there so that they can adjust to what you're putting out there on the offensive side. So he's a reaction type of defensive mind. Over there in New England, they're a reaction type of defensive mind. And when it comes down to the goal line defense, the reason why they got that win over Seattle is because they're that great in the red zone.
Yeah, I think you never know what the Patriots are going to do from a game-to-game basis. They could change it up. Looking at the last game, they brought that safety up, almost kind of double-teaming Antonio Brown, which I think you could see a very similar thing happening with Julio this week. But at the same time, I think the main thing they're going to try and do is stop the run game, force Matt Ryan to throw the ball, really prove to them that he is that MVP candidate. I touched on how they have the Falcons have the lightest offensive line in professional football right now. I think Matt Patricia and Belichick are going to try to go after the offensive line, heavy pressure right off the bat, and make sure Ryan's always throwing with pressure on him.
One important statistic to note for the big game is third down conversion rate on both sides of the ball. Who's going to win it on defense? Who's going to win it on offense? If you look back at that Green Bay game, they had some chances to actually get in that game. Same with Pittsburgh. If you get those third downs earlier on, they might come into points later. You don't know what you're going to get in that drive, so you have to convert on third down. Moving on to our final question. Is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback of all time?
Brady's the GOAT. I don't even think this needs to be discussed that much. The only thing Joe Montana has over him is that he's won all of the Super Bowls that he's been in. Brady, obviously, but think about those losses that he had to the Giants. They're both miracle wins right there. The Manningham catch, the Tyree catch. He played phenomenal in all those games. I think he's always stepped up in the big moment. And he's done it more often than anyone else. He's done it with, look at all the receivers he's had over the year. He's doing it with Chris Hogan this year. It's a new person every year. He's been able to be a constant in NFL for the past couple of years. Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. I think it's no question.
I mean, he's got the 7 Super Bowl appearances now, 11 AFC Championship game appearances. That just shows how good he is on that side of the conference. Which side of the conference? He's just dominated. There have hardly been any years where he's really missed out. 24-9 postseason record. So he's easily the clutchest quarterback of all time in the postseason. 4 rings currently. He might get a 5th. And he's top 5 in passing yards, completions, touchdowns, and game-winning drives. There's really nothing he doesn't have. He could still be the top scorer in all those categories if he can somehow pass Peyton Manning, but that's a tough thing to do. Regardless, he's got more Super Bowls than any of those guys. He's shown up in more Super Bowls than any of those guys. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, I think you could get into regular season statistics and stuff like that, but if you're looking off just success on any level, not just statistics, it's Tom Brady, no question, and that's it.
I mean, think about this. If LeBron were to win 3 more titles, would you think he could be a GOAT? Yeah. But so the Jordan factor there doesn't really matter for us. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that was Danny and Oliver with our quick 2-minute drill. Hopefully that got you prepared for all the Super Bowl action coming up. And Sportsnite will be right back after this break.